if we don't get a Detox album soon, you're gonna get another one of these letters, Dr. Dre, because I'm sick. Oh, hi everybody. Welcome back to the A-Z of Blackness. I'm Dane Baptiste, and this is episode 5. We're going from O to T, no Genesis. Now, if you got past the N-word, then we're going all the way. And if you can't get past the N-word, well, fuck you, we're going all the way. O is for old, because black life means you constantly thinking about your death, so we have a problem with getting old within the culture. We got this weird Peter Pan syndrome where nobody wants to get old, but everyone wants to be an adult. Being an adult means taking responsibility. Yeah, you can eat what you want, but sometimes you gotta go to the dentist. Yeah, you can have sex with whoever you want, but sometimes you have to book yourself an STI test or a smear test. You wanna drive a car? Cool, but you gotta book an MOT. That's what being an adult is about. Taking responsibility. I've noticed a lot of you kids want to be rude to me on social media and be like, you old, you don't know how the world works. Listen, let me tell you something. The average millionaire is 56 years old. Nas made Illmatic at 17, but he didn't win a Grammy until he was 47. And Beyonce, well, all right, Beyonce is ageless and immortal. I don't want that kind of smoke from the beehive. Let's relax, guys. The point is this. I was young at 1.2. I had hair, I had waves, but you lose your youth every day. It's not a talent, okay? The only difference between me and you, young kids, is that my dad had sex with my mum before your dad had sex with your mum. So it's not my fault your dad ain't got no fucking game. You guys haven't invented anything new. Nothing is new under the sun. And old people used to fuck like crazy. You know what people did for entertainment before YouTube and smartphones? They fucked, that's what they did. You know why your grandma's got 17 brothers and sisters? Because in those days, there was nothing else to do, okay? You know what people liked in those days? Hard work and Jesus. You know what they didn't like? Condoms. So, getting old means you have a history, and we already lost ours once. So let's make some more. You know, just like my dad did, before your slow dad did. Our P represents one of the most poignant civil wars in black culture. Is it Plantain or Plantain? A divide between Africans and Caribbeans. Well, we settle this today with Dane's theory. Plantain is pronounced tin because it's a common noun. Because the pronunciation is tin, you know, just like fountain or mountain. Common nouns. The pronunciation of tain in a suffix is for verbs like maintain or contain or detain. Not for common nouns like plantain or fountain or mountain. That's right, all of my continental African brothers and sisters. Caribbeans were right. It's plantain. I'm not doing this again, okay? I don't want any mentions in my mentions. I don't want any adiolas hollering at this geezer. And I know some of my Nigerian brothers out there have been like, yeah, but Dane, what about domain? What about romaine? Romaine? Are you serious? When's the last time someone served you romaine lettuce with your jollof on your suya? It's plantain. I'm not doing this again. Conversation done. Now we're on to Q, and Q in black culture could only be for queen. Now I know England has its own queen, and I mean we had a black duchess, but that was too much for some of you being like, I don't like her, I don't like her. You don't know her, stop being jealous. You know how good Meghan Markle is? You know what Harry used to do before they met? Wear Nazi uniforms. That's how good black vagina is. The point is this. Black culture, we've created our own global monarchy since we were kings and queens, but our history got messed up and nobody can remember who's who. So, here is a list of great black queens and black trans queens as well for your viewing pleasure. Enjoy.
Feel good, be good, stay good, and live good. If I could feel good, I'd live good, I'd die good.
Now, my kings and queens, we move on to R. Of course, R could definitely stand for reparations. Question's always been, when are we gonna get our reparations? Do we deserve reparations? How much are we gonna get in reparations? And you know something? That's fine. If you don't wanna give black people reparations, that's cool. But I find it pretty rich when I see adverts that say, if you were injured at work and it wasn't your fault, you're entitled to compensation. That sounds like reparations to me. Not only that, you know what the most common workplace injury is? Whiplash. Oh, so if you get lashed with a whip, you get compensation, but you don't understand why we should get reparations. Seems real fucking legit. Now, R is for racism. Now, I am aware some of you may never heard of this new racism thing in the UK, especially after a report which says it didn't exist from a Prime Minister who referred to black people as pickaninnies and may have 27 baby mothers. Now, I don't want to blacktronize you guys, but I think you know what racism is. And if you don't know, well, welcome to the Western world. For more examples on racism, you can click on any of these YouTube videos about race and look at the comments, and you'll get all the racism you need. Now, it's going to get real serious, which also begins with S. We'll start with slavery movies, because I, for one, am sick of them. Black culture is synonymous with slavery, allowing people to bring up the stereotype that black people are slaves. But we're not the only slaves in this world. We've all been slaves, serfs, servants, peasants, indentured workers. White people always like, I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus. Well, Spartacus was a slave too. We just survived the worst slavery, which is chattel. And I'm just saying, if you can go from chattel to presidency, then you are some real good survivors. And maybe in 100 years, well, you keep shooting us, according to evolutionary theory, black people are going to be bulletproof in a century. So watch out for that. And maybe we will become supreme. Because that's the real issue, right? We're always talking about supremacy, and we need to get rid of this word. Let me ask you, my white brothers and sisters, if you truly believe in your supremacy, ask yourself this. If white lives matter, why do you have to pay for healthcare in white countries? Here's a better question. If you're so supreme, why do you need healthcare at all? Let's be honest, if we all went back to our own countries of origin and lived off our own resources, would you be that supreme? Ask yourself that. Now to the tea, which has got to be for tea, and there's two types of tea. There's the drinkable tea, a bunch of which comes from China, and then there's the black tea that you take in your ears, which can still be hot and strong, just that people love when you spill it. The other tea I went with was for tokenism. Tokenism is normally when a black person that none of the other black people asked for is given a position within politics and media that wasn't justified, and all of a sudden a bunch of racists always are like, that person doesn't deserve to be there, it's tokenism out of control, it's just box ticking, which I find real funny, because reality TV don't care about talent. You guys have got Love Island, Made in Chelsea, Jersey Shore, you even got Gemma Collins scratching her vagina on Towie. None of you are complaining then, but when I'm on TV, then it becomes a problem. How convenient. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode. We've got one more episode left, so stick with us where we'll be doing U to Z in this A to Z of Blackness. And if you don't like it so far, well, it is way, way too late. See you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dane Baptiste, and I have an A to Z of Blackness, and it's my dream that you will click, like, share, and subscribe so I can stop selling my soul and doing these blasphemous impressions of great black leaders.